This is Carita Parks with Bowie Television at the Under Armour Performance Center. It is officially the postseason. The Baltimore Ravens are preparing for the divisional round of the playoffs as they await to find out who their opponent is. They've practiced this week as normal, Monday through Friday, and they've also added a stadium walkthrough on Sunday. And really the main idea this week is to just focus on the fundamentals, keep their minds right, keep their bodies right, and then next week we'll go into game prep once they know who their opponents are. The guys have said that many of them are not interested in watching the game. They'll let it come to them and find out who they play, and then they'll get to work on studying film. Also, big news this week is the head coaching vacancies across the NFL. And of course, we knew Mike Macdonald would be in high demand. He's had 3 requests already. But I think what was surprising is that Todd Monken is also being courted by other teams. 2 interviews on his docket as well. Both coaches addressed it this week. Monken really said that he will talk about it at the appropriate time, but this team right now has an opportunity to do something special, and that's what he's focused on. Mike Macdonald acknowledged that he is flattered by the fact that he has those interviews. He has done Zoom interviews. He did confirm that, but in-person interviews can't happen until after the season is over for the Ravens. It was also a busy week with Dalvin Cook. He was signed to the practice squad last week. We saw him at practice this week. He talked to media today and said he's really excited to be here, excited to work with Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Snoop, because they have that South Florida connection. But overall, he recognizes that many guys on this team have already done the dirty work, as he put it, and he's just here to come in and do what he can to really take this team to the next level in the playoffs. So once again, the Ravens will find out who they're playing after the games this weekend, and then they'll get back to work next week. This is Carita Parks with Bowie TV. Be sure to follow us for all your Ravens coverage.
It's that easy, huh?
Mike, Chris Horton was talking about kind of what it was like to come up from the intern level and really grow as a coach in this organization. I mean, when you reflect on all that time that you've spent here, under sort of the culture that John created, if you do become a head coach one day, what do you think you've taken away from that to sort of get you there?
Oh man, there's so much. It's just, we're so fortunate and lucky to be around, first of all, the organization. But the organizations, when you think it's made up of people, right? And the alignment that comes from the top here, when I was an intern, Ozzie being the general manager, starting with him, starting with Steve, now working with Eric, really everybody throughout the building, and then ultimately John and the person that he is and the leader that he is. You have great role models that you look up to.
Had an interesting plane flight to and from Houston the other day, so we had a time to we had a great conversation on the plane, and just very, very, very thankful about his support that he's given to me and probably the other coaches as well. So he's been awesome.
What was that experience like on Monday night for you? I mean, it was. Obviously we talked to John about it. It's his family, but I mean it's your family in a way too. I mean, what was that experience like?
It was a phenomenal. I mean, it was a phenomenal experience. Something we laughed about it. However the story was going to play out with the plane and everything, but it's something that we'll cherish for a long time. There's a lot of work that goes in, dedication that goes into getting to that point for that team, and you realize when you're in the stands that the families are involved too. The wives, the children. just friends of coaches and things like that, all the fans. It was pretty cool to see it kind of come full circle, and then obviously we were on the field afterwards, and just the joy that everybody had from seeing the whole process through was a special time for sure.
What a great week for us to just come out here and really just focus on us. That's been the message to our group, man. It's just, let's figure out a way this week of how we can help ourselves and get better at the things that which we're going to need to do in order to make some plays this postseason. So our guys are out there working all 6 phases: field goal, block, punt, return, kickoff, return. We get this opportunity, and so again, our focus is mainly about us right now. Questions?
Chris, how much do you like having Duvernay back on the practice field, and do you feel the way that Tylen and Justice have stepped up that you really have some depth there and some good options going into the playoffs?
It's amazing to see him back out there. I'll tell you this, I think you guys know how I feel about him. I know how our team feels about him, and I know how the guys the guys outside feel about him. He's a heck of a player, and just to have him back out there running, and it just goes to show, to what we do. I think just fundamentally across the board, with the depth of having Tylen back there, coming out there, making that play against the Rams, and scoring that touchdown. Having Justice out there versus Miami, popping that big return. I mean, it just goes to show to all 11 guys, really, of our depth. You put a guy back there, if we block the play the right way, we can create those big plays. So are we excited to have him back? Of course.
Chris, what are the traits, like speed is obvious, but other than that, what are the traits that makes a good kick returner?
A good kick returner, I think, one, speed for sure is everything, but you got to have some vision. You got to be able to, find the hole when it's not there, and a guy that can break some tackles, a guy that'll run through some arm tackles, but really just a downhill vertical guy. And it's got to be a guy that's going to make some great decisions. Holding on to the football, we talk about that a lot, is very important for any of our returners. That's first and foremost, a guy that can protect the ball. So, all those good things.
Chris, I mean, you and Macdonald both, you're coordinators now, and you both started as coaching interns. What do you even remember about kind of those days starting? I mean, now that you're coordinators, you get, well, what was it like at the beginning with you guys?
Honestly, at the beginning, I think I'm gonna speak for myself here, but we didn't know. We were just 2 young guys just trying to figure out our way, and we got the opportunity here when the Ravens was starting that intern program. And Mike and I shared an office, so we got to kind of get to know each other a little bit, and throughout the course of the year, I was still on defense at the time, so I had not moved to special teams at the time, so I was still working on defense, and we just kind of got to know each other. We sat in that office together, broke down plays, drew cards, for the scout team, and then as the season went on, as a young guy, you don't know what's next. We're sitting in the office like, hey, what's going to happen? Are we even going to be back here? Do we need to go find another job? And all those things come into question. But this place, man, stability. They let you be yourself. You come out, you do a great job. You stick around, and then here it is, 10 seasons later. I'm standing up in front of the podium, as a special teams coordinator, and it's been great, man, and just to watch what Mike's done, and we talk about it all the time of kind of where we've come from to where we are now. It's just been an amazing process of, just put your head down, go to work, and those things will pay off for you.
All right.
So when you don't have an opponent for the weekend, how do you structure practice? I mean, it's obviously not game planning, but basically, what are you trying to get out of practice for this week?
Improve the Ravens offense. That's what you're trying to do. When we had a bye week, the guys had the week off. So there was a lot of things we were able to improve on from a coaching staff standpoint. Self-scout, who we want to be moving forward, utilization of personnel, all of those things. But we didn't have the players here. So now you're fast forward 6 weeks later, 5 or 6 weeks later, you have a chance to kind of work on things that somewhat from a game planning standpoint, but more about us. Because the way we protect, the way we pass set, the way we run routes, how we structure things, how we do it better, to me, that's what this whole week's about.
Coach, I know it's only been 2 practices, but
what you've seen in Dalvin Cook?
Well, we're excited to add a talented player to our roster, and I agree with what Coach said. I think he said it yesterday. We look at more as a potential weapon than just someone that we've added to the roster. So, now catching him up to speed, in terms of terminology and what we call things, but it's not hard.
I'm going to give you the keys to the offense as far as like making checks to the line, that kind of thing. What are the, having worked with him now a whole year, what are the traits that Lamar has that has allowed him to thrive, succeed in doing that part of the game?
Well, first off, he's highly intelligent, so he understands what you're asking him to do and what you're allowing him to do, and when the situation presents that. That's probably as much as anything. And he's embraced wanting to do that. Not every quarterback wants that. Not every quarterback wants that on their plate, and be empowered to change a play at the line of scrimmage, or to put themselves out there where, now they made the decision to change something at the line or protection. But it starts with him. He's diligent, he's intelligent, he's certainly more than capable of seeing things, what the defense is presenting to him, and how he can get us into a better play, get us into a premium play.
Todd, when you got here, you didn't know John Harbaugh really very well. You had certainly worked for a lot of head coaches over the years. Now that you've been with him for almost a year, what do you think are kind of the standout traits about him?
Dalvin, what does this opportunity present you, and your thoughts on joining the Ravens?
It presents everything. Obviously, the situation speaks for itself. These guys put in the work. So, how the first round bye, be set at number 1 seed. So for me, just come in and give everything I got. These guys put the hard work in already. So for me, lay it all on the line for these guys. They done did the dirty work. So now it's time for me to just go help these guys any way I can. So for me, it's a new breath of air for me. New opportunity, a great opportunity, and I'm loving it.
Might be an obvious question, but how do you think you fit in with this running back group?
I fit right in. First off, we got a great room. Nell, Justice, Gus, all those guys, man, they great, man. They've been great since I got here. And when you look at the dynamics of the room, I think I bring everything to the table, with added to what those guys bring to the table, which is a lot. We've been seeing it all year with those guys. And with the O-line we got, I think it make everything better. We got some guys up front. We got some dudes up front that's ready to lay on the line. So I'm just happy, man.
How close were you to sign here back in the summer now?
It's close. It was real close. I'm close with L, Zay, Snoop, all those guys, man. It's just a Florida thing, man. It's some Florida water, man. It's just what it is. But it was real close, man. To answer the question, it was close.
Dalvin, John Harbaugh said you wanted to be here. When everything was going down, you knew you had to get through the waiver process first, but was this the only opportunity for you if available? Were you pretty clear that this is where you wanted to be?
It wasn't the only opportunity for me, but when this door opened up, I was the first one to walk in. It was a no-brainer for me, man. I couldn't pass up, playing with L, playing with all those guys, Snoop, Zay, all those guys, like I said, and I'm close with all those guys. So get the opportunity to play with my guys, man. It opened up, and I'm right here in front of y'all.
How much motivation is it for you that obviously the thing with the Jets didn't turn out as what you meant, but how much motivation is for you to show those aren't kind of the numbers that reflect you?
Yeah, obviously. I feel like, that's why I'm in the situation I am. I feel like, me, I'm a man of faith, and I feel like I got put in this situation for a reason. I'm not trying to prove nothing to nobody. I'm just going to be me, to be honest. And that's what got me to this point in my life. So I don't listen to the naysayers, man. I block the noise, man. My leg's still here. I'm still me. I'm still Dalvin. It's just for the world to see it.
You talked about the opportunity to play with Lamar Jackson. What are you looking forward to when it comes to that?
Really just going out there playing ball, man. For me, I don't watch so much of it on TV. I'm just like, wow, I can't be a part of that. Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, knowing how L is, knowing how he operates, competitor, I want to be in the backfield or something like that, man. We just playing ball, man. It's like we back at home, back in South Florida playing ball, man. So it's gonna be a great experience for both of us.
Parks mentioned, he views you as a weapon that he can use in the playoffs and so forth. curious, do you expect to be one? Do you expect to see some carries and things like that to some action?
I'm gonna earn my rights. You know, like I said, these guys are putting in the work all year. I'm gonna earn everything I get. I appreciate Coach Harbaugh so much. Like you guys just understand, he's a great person. And you know, for me, I'm gonna just work my tail off. And, you know, every opportunity come my way, I'm gonna give it my all for these guys, everything I got. So, you know, for me, I'm gonna earn everything I get, and I'm gonna just let it on the line for these guys.
Actually going all pro, I don't know if they have. I think before it was like a flex position that sometimes we give it to guys. It's definitely a huge honor. You know, I didn't make Pro Bowl this year. I was a little disappointed in that, but can't control any of that. But all pro is very cool. It's very special. And, you know, I think very highly of myself. I want to be first team. Shout out to Juice the Check. He's a great fullback. He's doing a lot of great things. A lot of respect for him. But yeah, it's very cool.
With Mark back out there, in your eyes, how did he look his first practice back, and how much of a lift does that give, you know, you guys with him coming back?
Yeah, you know, he was out there doing individual with us. He's moving around. He looks good. You know, I know this is, I think, his first major surgery, so for him to come back as quickly as he has, we all know he's been working incredibly hard. So we're all just really proud of the work he's putting in. We know he wants to be out there with us every second he can. And he's looking really good. And you know, he's a guy that's a big leader on this team, a great teammate, great brother. So for us to see him out there, it's definitely boosting morale of like, okay, like we see you, Mark. You know, let's keep this thing going so we can have you back.
First of all, how does it look in your eyes, and kind of what does that add? How much of a lift does it give you guys just having one of the best players in the team back in practice?
For sure. I mean, Mark looked good in my eyes. You know, he did the whole individual, running around, you know, having fun, smiling, you know, finally back on the field with us. So it looked good watching him, you know, smiling with him, joking with him before we went to the rest of practice.
Just what is it, I guess, from a morale standpoint, you know, to see him back on the field? How does that boost kind of the morale of the team?
You know, definitely put a smile on the team because you definitely win your best players back. From obviously an offensive perspective, but like a whole team wise, when you get one of your leaders back, you know, all pro back and Mark back.
It sounded like at one point when he went through a drill, you were kind of providing some commentary.
Yeah.
It seemed like you thought he looked pretty good.
For sure. I mean, he definitely looked good. He was definitely trying to open up, so that definitely looked good. You know, and I'm just always, you know, telling him how much fast I am, but he definitely looked fast. You know, getting back out there.
How excited are you, you know, with the possibility of Mark coming back mixed with, you know, the advancement this offense has made since he's been gone, to kind of see that kind of married to each other?
For sure. I mean, you know, having Mark back in the offense, you know, definitely with everybody blending, everybody, you know, finding that chemistry, and then you throw all pro guy Mark into the mix with the offense, you know, still building. You try to stop that on Sunday.
It seemed like you thought he looked pretty good.